Good morning. One of the hardest times in David's life was when he was being betrayed by his own son, Absalom. He had already dealt with spears being cast at him from Saul. He waited patiently, did not usurp Saul, but upon Saul's death took the kingship. Absalom did what David did not. Absalom was impatient, and he usurped the king and tried to take leadership. David had the opportunity, as Gene Edwards in his book, The Three Kings, teaches us, he had the opportunity to try to treat Absalom like Saul did him. But he didn't. He maintained a gracious heart toward Absalom, even to the point that Joab got frustrated by his soft heart towards his betraying son. I tell you that because the context for the psalm we're going to look at is Psalm 63, is David fleeing from Absalom. And as we do so, I want to read a few verses of it to you. And we're going to focus on some things to do with desire a little bit, and some other issues. Keep in mind as I read this psalm a proverb. It's Proverbs 13:12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. I know some of you are there and you've been there, and you can feel the angst of hope that is deferred. But when desire gets fulfilled, oh, how it just roots you in life. It's a tree of life. It's a tree of life. Well, let me begin. Psalm 63, a psalm of David when he was in the wilderness of Judah. And as I mentioned, he's running from Absalom. O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. There's a lot to say in these first few verses about desire. That's just verse 1, and I want to mention a couple of things to you. He, running for his life, feeling betrayed and wounded, expresses that what he longs for, what he desires, his, we can say, prime desire, is God himself. He is thirsty, not for God's blessings, not for God's rescue, but for God. It's God he seeks. God's not a window for David into something else. He's not a door through which David goes to arrive someplace else. It's rather God is the cul-de-sac of David's desire. Interestingly enough, the word for seek here is related to the word for dawn. And the idea here is the primacy of desire. Like the first thing that I think about, David says, is you, O God. I desire you. My flesh faints for you as in a dry and weary land where there's no water. It's this sense of desperation. So you have a prime desire, and you have a kind of desperate desire. My flesh longs for or faints. There's a related Arabic term that means pale face or weak-eyed. It's that I'm just breaking down, and I'm so in need of you. I'm so desperate for you. So let me ask you a question. If you're in the midst of difficulty, maybe you even feel betrayed, are you just seeking the situation to change, or are you just willing to seek God as your primary and desperate desire? The face of God alone. Think about that today. Pray through that today, and may the Lord bless you.